Hello everyone and welcome to another art tutorial with UdoCreatives. Today, we will be going over the process of how to draw lips using charcoal and graphite pencils. If you find this video helpful, please like and subscribe to UdoCreatives for more art content. For this video, I have already created a rough outline of the work using a 5H pencil. I typically use the grid method to create my outline. The grid method is one of the best and easiest methods for getting your outlines right, especially when drawing from a reference. It helps a lot with proportions. Our How to Draw a Face video covers an example of the grid method in detail. I've added the link in description. So let's quickly go over some materials I will use for this. I'll be using multiple carbon pencils. 2B for B, my 6B and B grade carbon pencils. I'll also be using a 1 Grey 5 Polychromo pencil, as well as a 5H pencil. This here is my Jakar Compressed Charcoal Set, which I scrape to get charcoal powder. For brushes, I'll be using a bristle brush and a combination of hard and soft brushes. I'll also be using a Graphite charcoal pencil. Now, let's get to it. We can now start shading. The first thing I'll do is scrape some white compressed charcoal on the pencil drawing, and this is to create my first layer. I safely use a blade for this. For kids watching this, please do not handle blades without an adult present. Next, using my soft brush, I'm going to be blending the charcoal white to create my first layer. Layering is very important for pencil drawings. Soft brushes are great for spreading light compressed charcoal and are my personal preference for this step. Remember that you can always experiment with your tools to know what works for you. Next, I'll use my carbon pencil to darken and pronounce some of my existing outlines. This will help as a guide during my shading process. Keeping your pencils sharp keeps your lines more precise. I'll blend with my hard brush and bristle brush. The bristle brush is basically a hard brush, but with a slightly different texture. I'll also use my blending stump at times to smoothen out the lines. I often use my blending stump when I feel like my hard brush is not doing a good job of blending. The area below the lip is going to have a shadow, an area of depth. I'll make this outline even thicker to show this. I'll blend like before. You can use your blending stump to add more lines like I am doing here. I'm doing this because I want to keep these outlines blurred. It's more to mark the areas than anything. Next, I will use my carbon pencils to add in the cracks on the lips. Treat the cracks as areas of depth. I will use my blending stump to blend each individual crack. I'll also improve some outlines using my 5H pencil so that it doesn't get lost during shading. I will use a perfection eraser for correcting areas where I feel like my outline is too thick. Next, I will apply some light grey compressed charcoal to the upper part of the lip. The outlines made with the blending Stump are serving as a guideline here. Try to shade within your lines. Next, I will add some dark areas to that plane by using a hard brush to apply some mid-grey compressed charcoal. Notice how it is giving me a darker finish. Next, I'll layer the bottom side of the upper lip with some darker charcoal using my hard brush. This will create a subtle shadow that represents an area of depth. I'll blend around the upper lip again using my bristle brush. I'll keep on layering and blending in more dark charcoal until I'm satisfied. Same thing for the lower plane to preserve the depth. Next, I'll shift focus to the teeth area. I'll start by using my hard brush and some dark compressed charcoal to create an area of darkness on the left side of the teeth. I'll use my perfection eraser to section off this area quickly. I'll use my carbon pencil next to create some darker areas and show even more depth. I'll blend using my hard brush and some dark compressed charcoal. Next, using my bristle brush, I'll apply some light grey compressed charcoal on the teeth. After this, I will use my carbon pencil to exaggerate the edges of the teeth. I'll retouch my dark area a bit with a lighter compressed charcoal. Next, I will do the same on the dark area at the right side of the teeth. For the tiny area below the teeth, I will use my 5H pencil to shade that in, and then blend using my hard brush. Next, using my bristle brush, I will apply some light compressed charcoal on the teeth. This will keep my highlights intact. Next, I will apply some dark grey compressed charcoal to the top and middle side of the teeth using my hard brush, to create a subtle appearance of depth and shadows. I'll revive any lost outlines with my 5H pencils. I will repeat the last few steps until I am satisfied with the appearance of my teeth. I'll also retouch the sides to match what I have in mind. I will improve dark areas on the sides using my carbon pencil. This will bring back my depth that was lost during shading. These improvements will be blended in using my hard brush. I'm still working on the teeth, adding charcoal with my hard and bristle brushes, and reviving outlines with my 5H pencil where necessary. I'll make corrections with my perfection eraser. Now that I am satisfied with my teeth region for now, I will soften my shade with my soft brush. Next, I will use my bristle brush to apply some light grey compressed charcoal to the lower part of the lip. I'll texturize this a bit using my Perfection eraser. Notice some subtle highlights taking form. I'll go back to using my bristle brush to blend in some light grey compressed charcoal on the lower lip. I don't like how the sides of my teeth area lost some depth during the last shade, so I will revive that depth using my carbon pencil. I'll blend with my bristle brush. I'll go back to using my bristle brush on the lower part of the lip and create my next layer. This time, I'll use mid-grey compressed charcoal. Notice how I am not doing too much around the center of the lower lip. This is because I want to form a subtle highlight there. I'll retouch my teeth area briefly by using my bristle brush to apply some white charcoal and give it a better highlight. Next, I'll use a soft brush to blend in some dark grey compressed charcoal around the lower lip. It is softening my shade. Next, I'll use my bristle brush to apply and blend in some mid-grey compressed charcoal around, followed by some dark mid-grey compressed charcoal. Notice my center lower lip highlight is still intact, because I am blending around that area. I'll soften my work now using my soft brush. Next, I'll use my hard brush to apply some dark compressed charcoal to pronounce the depth on my lower lip. Then I will softly apply this around the lip. I will blend with my bristle brush. I'll do this on both sides. I will keep applying and blending in this dark compressed charcoal with my hard and bristle brushes until I'm satisfied. Next, I will quickly soften my shade with my soft brush. Next, using my soft brush, I will add in some light grey compressed charcoal. This will be blended with my bristle brush. Notice the effect on my center lower lip highlight. It still shows, but it is now more subtle and blended. The next thing I will do is use my Contiaparis pencil to add more depth at the bottom of the lip. I'll also bring out some outlines. I will blend this using my hard brush and some black compressed charcoal. My bristle brush will be used to finish this off. Now, I am using my hard brush and some dark charcoal to create a transition between the lower lip depth and the rest of it. I'll complement it with my bristle brush. I will repeat these steps around the lower lip until I am satisfied. Again, notice my soft touch around the center area. Now, using my soft brush, I will apply some light grey compressed charcoal to the center of my lower lip. This will make the highlight there slightly more pronounced. After this, I will again blend around using my bristle brush. Now we can move on to our next step. Before that, you might notice that my work has a bit more sharpness here. All I did was retouch some outlines using my 5H pencil for the teeth and carbon pencil for the dark areas at the side of the teeth, under the lips and the cracks. Practice getting your work to look like this. If you've been following along, this step should not be difficult and should not take you time at all. One thing I added at the top of the lip is the bridge, also known as the philtrum. I used my 5H pencil to draw this out. Let's work on it for a bit. I'll start by applying some mid-light grey compressed charcoal using my hard brush. I'll blend this using my bristle brush. Now, I will use my bristle brush to spread some light grey compressed charcoal. This will serve as a layer for the skin. I will add darker layers of charcoal by gradually using my bristle brush until I am satisfied. Notice how I am keeping my philtrum edges untouched. I will use my soft brush to smoothen the shade. After this, I will use my hard brush to blend around some edges. One more blend around with my bristle brush, and I can soften again using my soft brush. Here, I am spreading some light mid-gray compressed charcoal around using my soft brush. I'll go slightly darker beneath the lip to give the effect of light hitting the bottom lip and creating a shadow. I will achieve this darker effect by using my bristle brush to apply and blend mid-gray and dark mid-gray compressed charcoal. I'll do this until I am satisfied. At times, you will notice me briefly use my hard brush to blend the areas around the edges of the lower lip. That will create some subtle depth. I'll smooth it out with my soft brush. I'll also apply some light compressed charcoal using my soft brush to soften some areas around. Our lip is taking good form right now. I'll keep touching up my work using my bristle brush and soft brush to blend until I am satisfied. Next, I will add some textures to the philtrum. I will use my Perfection eraser and 5H pencil for this. I'm just adding dotted patterns around. I will smoothen with my soft brush. Next, I will use my Perfection eraser to highlight some edges. I'll also add some tiny cracks around the top of the lip using my Perfection eraser. Pay close attention to the pattern I'm using here. Feel free to get a bit creative here, but also be careful so that you don't overdo it. I'll add more textures to the upper lip now using my 1Gray5 color pencil. Again, pay close attention to my patterns. I'll do these texturing steps until I am satisfied. I will also add some highlights to the big cracks at the bottom of the upper lips. I am using my Perfection eraser for this. Now, I am adding some X patterns using my 5H pencil to give more texture. I'll blend using my bristle brush. Now, shifting focus to the lower lip, I will add some vertical cracks along the lip with my 1Gray5 Polychromo color pencil. I'll also add more textures around by adding lines and X patterns. Don't be shy to leverage your tools and create something amazing. I'll pull out some highlights around these textures using my Perfection eraser. Remember that we wanted a highlight around the center of the lower lip. I'm just reviving that here. I'll keep retouching until I am satisfied. For your own pencil drawings, you do not have to go this detailed. But as this is a tutorial, I want you guys to see all the options you have. Here, I am blending using my bristle brush. This will soften my texture lines. Now, using my flat pencil eraser, I will create some more textures using a dotted motion. I will do the same using my Perfection eraser. Next, I'll add some tiny hair strands around using my white charcoal pencil. Just simple patterns. I will use my 4B carbon pencil to create some depth. This will be blended with my bristle brush. I'm just using my Perfection eraser here to highlight some edges. I'm back to adding tiny hair strands using my white charcoal pencil. And we are done. Now we have come to the end of this tutorial showing how to draw realistic lips using charcoal and graphite. Remember to experiment and practice to get a better command of your skills and tools. I hope that you've gained insightful techniques in this tutorial, and I hope to see you use these techniques in your drawings. Thank you very much for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to UdoCreatives for more art content.